we just started recording now, so you guys will be able to go on our YouTube channel, Paging the Simpsons, to check out the video version of this. We're going to try this out. We put, I think the last 2 episodes, the bonus episode and episode 1, we put up there as the audio versions, but now we're doing video to see how that goes, if we like it, if we don't like it, all that fun stuff. And just seeing how that goes, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun podcast, I feel like. This is going to be a good one. So a lot of things happened over the past week, you could say. A lot of things I just want to talk about. One of the big things we're going to jump right into is this whole Jordyn Woods, Kim Kardashian, Will Smith, Jada Smith.
It's not Kim.
The Kardashians, same thing. The whole Kardashians, I don't know. They're like a mob at this point. Like,
okay.
What race are they? Armenian?
Yes.
Armenian mob? There we go. They're like the Armenian mob at this point, just going straight at... What? Do you feel differently?
That's so weird.
Do you feel differently about this?
You're just going for it. You're being weird.
So we wanted to talk about this because at first I was like, why do I care? But then I'm sitting back and I'm seeing all this stuff about it and I'm like, yo, this is interesting. So we're going to hop into it. We're probably going to start off with the Red Table Talk with Jordyn Woods. We watched that together. We kind of reserved our thoughts, and we're like, okay, we're going to drop them here. And I'm like, yo, that's great, because over the last, day or 2 that we held back, I'm just like, okay. Like, I've been thinking about this. I've been going through, like, so many, like, I guess, like, a roller coaster of, emotions. Like, a roller coaster of how I feel about this. I'm just like, I'm so ready for this. Do you want to start that off? Or do you want me to kick this off here?
You're on a roll.
Man,
so
I'll
just might
kick
as
it
well.
off. So, to give you some backstory, which I'm sure you guys know by now, supposedly Jordyn Woods was caught with Khloe Kardashian's, what would you call that? Like a boyfriend.
Yeah. They were married.
Caught, like, supposedly she was cheating. He was cheating on her. That whole thing.
There were all sorts of rumors.
Yeah.
Some were that it was making out, some was staying over and other canoodles. And
Yeah, a lot of things that weren't clear. So, Jordyn Woods then goes on the Red Table Talk with Jada, just Jada by herself, and talks about, I guess her story, her take on this. And we watched it, and I don't know about you, right off the jump, just watching her, I'm just like, okay, I believe this girl. I don't know. I believed her throughout it. I'm like, I don't know. No,
okay.
Go ahead.
I have to hold on. I have to look at my notes.
Get into
okay.
the tea.
I got my notes.
Because, like I said, I went through a roller coaster. So, like, that's my first feelings, thoughts watching that.
Here's something. Okay, I feel like sure she was sincere. I don't think it was like totally a cover up or damage control, but I think it somewhat was.
Yeah.
And I think because she is so close with the Smiths that they were trying to help her in that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can see that. But okay, for example. So there was this she was avoiding an answer. Okay, when she was in his ear or whatever, she said to Jada, she's like, I mean, everyone was dancing and in everyone's ear. And I'm like, that is a political answer. So, like, I don't know how to feel about that because that's not saying I wasn't.
I mean, she was just trying to tell him, like, sweet nothings. Like, hey.
Well, but, okay, but exactly. Like, that's the thing is.
You got me.
Yeah, so I'm like, that got me. What else? Okay, the biggest thing to me here. So she kept saying how that's not on him and everything's on me and all this stuff. I get you kind of have to own up to this stuff because pretty much anything you say is not going to be good at this point. Yep. It's not going to help. However, I'm very irritated that nothing is on the man. Everybody's coming for the girl. Sure, you both partake in it. Why does no one ever come after the man who cheats?
Man.
He's the one in the relationship. He's the one that should know better. Come on. He's the one that has cheated in the past. Can we not forget that?
See, I never understood that because that just happens in general. No matter what situation it is, the woman always gets attacked, and the guy is. It's kind of just being like, boys will be boys type of thing.
Right. It's the philosophy like, oh, the homie's getting it, but the girl's a whore.
Yeah.
Like that's that. It's like, why?
I got that. Yeah. My other issue, what you just remind me of, was I do think, I think more happened that she didn't talk about on the red table. Because I say that, and what was the thing? She kept being very apologetic. Right. And I'm like, what if the guy kissed you, you didn't kiss him, you didn't push him off you, but if it was just like a little, like, quick kiss.
Like if he did it and you just went on your way and you didn't lead into it or, keep going or whatever. But again, I think she had to. She felt like she had to because if you don't take the blame, now people are going to get mad at you for that. I find that was very, like, suspect. Where she just kept saying, like, I'm sorry, and this and that, and, like, teared up occasionally through it, I think, throughout that whole interview. I mean, I would tear up after all that stuff, too. It's true. Yeah, also, if this is your lifelong friend... Yeah. Like, your lifelong friend's sister... You got a point. Like, it's a loss. Yeah. Huh. I think it's awful when she's saying how her own family can't leave the house. Because of this, okay? 12-year-old can't go to school, brother can't go to work, the mom can't grocery shop. Like, being a celebrity, I think, is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous how far it goes. It's just like when, I'm sure that they're also getting death threats or something. Not even her family or something. Like, that is ridiculous. Can we not? Like, the family did nothing. Leave them out of it. Like, why? I always hated that. Well, I never understood that at all. When they're like, when they always attack the person and not the freaking, like they attack the person and also attack the family. Well, because they're trying to hurt her. That's what it is. But it's not that big of a deal to like attack this person. I know. Over. Like, man. Also, guys, if you're watching the video podcast, this is our dog. If you didn't know, she keeps bothering me. She keeps trying to, like, be like, hey, pick me up, get me on. I'm like, relax. Like, she's trying to sniff the mic. Like, yo, she pooped it.
So.
She pooped it.
If she doesn't just chill, she's going somewhere else. So we're trying to record right now.
Girl, but you're so fluffy and cute.
Give me a hot moment. I'm going to have to put this dog away. She's, like, sniffing everything. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to take a quick intermission here. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just find that, like, horrible, where we could just go straight into attacking, the family. And I hate these trolls that, like, it happens in every situation where these people get, like, death threats and, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, why do we do this? Why? It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't impact your life at all. Like, why do we do this to these people? I don't understand why we get so hooked on a celebrity that we think that they're our best friend and we have to defend them like that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're, like, never going to see us doing this. And nor do they care. Are they going to pay you? And it's not going to help them. Are they going to pay you to be like, hey, I'm going to give you $5 for your 5 minutes of help me out? Like, sure, you can support. I'm sure there's, celebrities who go through, like, depression and stuff. If you send, like, kind words their way, sure, that's one thing. But, like, you standing up for them, it's not like they're right there and you're standing up for them to a bully or something. Exactly. Like, it's... Like, man. I don't get it. And we get so infatuated with celebrities. And, you know that heat came for her as soon as, like, after that Red Table Talk came out and Khloe went and tweeted saying, like, you are the reason my family broke up. And it's like, I guess, like, she said, like, Tristan is, like, equally as wrong or whatever, but he's the father. And I'm like, she doesn't really mean that. She's trying to give an excuse so he doesn't get the brunt of this. I'm like, get out of here. And what's funny, I'm not sure if you know, because I feel like you know way more about this than I do. So it sounds like, I was looking up this, and Tristan Thomas has like a record of just cheating on her. Thompson, my God.
Yeah, I just said that. I said it's not like he hasn't done this before.
Yo.
When she was giving birth.
Yo, I was looking at this and I'm just like, wow.
But also, okay, here's the thing. We're going to backtrack, okay?
Alright.
We going to backtrack. I actually have to find it. I think I screenshotted something that makes a lot of sense. It basically is saying, like, the track record that this family has of, like, basically doing the same thing. Okay, yeah, here it is. It says, you mean to tell me that Jordyn Woods hooked up with Tristan while he was with Khloe, like Kylie hooked up with Tyga, who was with Blac Chyna, and Travis Scott, who was with Justine, and like Kim Kardashian hooked up with Kanye, who was with Amber Rose, and how Khloe hooked up with Tristan, who was with Jordy, and hooked up with Lamar Odom, who was still engaged to his high school sweetheart. Yeah, speechless. Or is it maybe because she's Kylie's BFF? But Blac Chyna was Kim's BFF when Kylie hooked up with her man. So, I mean, is there any problem? If that's all true, this family's got quite the track record. And it's kind of funny because I'm not justifying what happened here. You know, it's awful whenever anybody does it.
Of course.
However, it's kind of like karma coming at you. Because isn't that how Khloe got him?
Man.
Didn't he have another? I thought he had like another baby mama or something.
Probably.
And then got with her, and like, what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not right, and it really stings because the whole like friendship thing.
Yeah.
But then if it's true with Kim and Blac Chyna.
Yep. That's a good one.
So this whole thing got super messy.
I mean, to add to that. There's a current hashtag going around that says "Free Tristan Thompson," like going around because
he ain't in jail.
Well, that's what people were saying. Like they're saying that like Khloe like pretty much is not giving up on like letting this guy just be free. Like he's doing so much to be like any girl at some point is gonna be like, yo, I don't want you anymore. You keep messing up. Like what's happening?
I mean, from what it sounds like, there's more going on there than this cheating, too. It sounds like they don't have the greatest relationship, period.
And that's why it sounds like he's trying to leave, and somehow Khloe's, like, keeping him still there. I don't know how or why or what the background is, of course, but that's what it sounds like.
I mean, people have been hurt in relationships. They do crazy things. I don't know.
I think he's in a...
So she might just not want to have to go through this again or something. I don't know.
I think he's in Get Out, too.
Dude, they totally should make another one.
Yeah, and base it around his life. Him trying to get out of the... Him and Kanye. Yo, Kanye was just seen, like, last week, like, banging some drums out in someplace.
They said, okay, there's also a meme where it's like, how did Kanye end up being the most sane of the ones that has married into this family? How is that possible?
Oh, that's true.
Because if you look at everyone else...
Kanye is crazy.
Because, like, Scott, Courtney's ex, is, like, weird and crazy. And now you have Tristan. Yep. And Lamar was, like, off the rail.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's kind of hilarious.
Oh, man. He's out there living his life. This whole thing is wild. I'm kind of curious to know how it plays out.
My thing, too, is... People are asking if this is a publicity stunt, like the whole entire thing.
Of course not.
They're wondering if she got a big payout from this. What's interesting is I don't think so, because even like the thing we saw this morning, or I overheard when I was getting ready and you were watching or something, like Jordyn didn't come from nothing. So people are making it sound like she was in poverty and that the Kardashians made her and all this stuff. Sure, they could give her a leg up, but I feel like to say that, like, they gave her everything, sure. I mean, Kylie definitely helped her with the makeup stuff and modeling and all this stuff, sure. But I don't know, like, I don't think someone like her, she's only 21, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think this young woman would jeopardize her entire life and her career and her dreams and everything for a payout for something like this. Because you have to realize, sure, you can get paid big money right now for this, However, your image will be tarnished forever. Why would she purposely do that?
It's just another conspiracy that's not true.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
To add to that, because you just reminded me, I also do think that, hey, this thing, something more did happen, because that same video I was watching, I forgot what channel it's on. I think it's on Nicki Swift. If you go on YouTube, they put a video up recently about the whole Jordyn Woods thing, and it's interesting because I didn't know anything about Jordyn Woods. I'm sure a lot of us that are listening to this probably didn't know anything about her because this is the first time we're hearing about her. But I didn't know that she was bigger than what she looked like on Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
Not like huge, but like she was a little chubbier. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, she's probably feeling herself. Like, she put in time over the last couple of years. She's going out with her friends, all that stuff. And Tristan was probably hanging around. He's been with Khloe for a while. He's probably seen her come up, as any guy probably sees. And he's like,
Oh, so you want some guy looking at me that way?
If
I lost a lot of weight?
Oh,
so you think it's justifiable then?
What?
Careful what you say.
No, I'm just
like any guy would.
I'm just trying to say that I get where Tristan's coming from. He saw a snack and he was like, "Yo, I'm hungry."
Oh my god! What? Yo, I'm hungry. In more ways than one.
Oh man, because after seeing that, I'm like, oh, okay. So I can see where a guy would be lost some weight.
Yeah, but there's the photo going around the internet where Jordyn's heavier and Kylie has no lips. So, they both, completely changed, basically.
Yeah, that's the sibling. You can't do anything with that. This is someone that's a family friend.
The Kardashians are known for using their sex appeal.
Alright. Point is, I see where Tristan came from with this one, where he's like, this was my moment. And it's it's funny because she didn't know whose house it was.
How do you not know what house you go into?
She found out from a friend of a friend that was going to it. And they're like, okay, cool. And it's that's how you handle it. You don't go straight to the girl. You talk to her friend or let her friend know, hey, we're going over here. And that's how you kind of mingle yourself in that. Because you say there's no correspondence between me and her. I just told her friend, and her friend came along. Stuff.
I don't know. And the thing is, I was telling you how, I wonder if there's going to be any backlash on Jada for having her on Red Table Talk, because it's this weird, threesome of a family, and, you're kind of putting yourself voluntarily in the middle in a public way.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kept it neutral. She didn't try to get in it, but she's more on Jordyn's side. So I feel like people could be like, oh, so of course she was a little biased.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm like, don't do that to Jada.
I really don't care. If you're trolling and you're hating on Jada, I don't care really.
She's so good.
Because do you really support her?
Can we talk about her makeup in these episodes? It's so good.
No, we're good.
At the end of the day, I think only the people who actually corresponded in the act know what happened. I don't think we're ever going to know the complete truth.
Of course.
We don't. We never know what happens in celebrity world.
It's going to die down over the next, few weeks, maybe months.
And then the next scandal will happen.
And pretty much. Something else happens. They put out a sex tape where Kanye is freaking climbing on walls. Something like that.
Okay. With that.
So, on to this next topic where it had me thinking, because we also saw the Red Table Talk with Wale, and I don't know the guy that they had on there, but Wale was sitting here, and if you're familiar with Wale, he does a lot of love records, but he seems like he struggles with love. And it's just interesting, because he was thinking he could have a relationship and not have all that the stuff that comes along with it, which is pretty much all that hard work, that time, that energy, the emotions, everything that comes with it. You just hoping I can find someone, we click, and it's just magic, we rock, and we're good forever.
He basically is like a woman in an ideal world. She's just thinking like, oh, a woman thinking about a fairy tale. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And it's like, man, we've been together for 4 years and 3 months, well, close to 3 months at this point.
I'd just say over 4 years at this point.
Sorry for me trying to get, like, granular with it.
Look at you, it's going to be our however month anniversary.
And it's like, yo, we're still working to this day. We still have our issues. Like, it's so many things that you still have to, like, compromise on and work with, and so many things change. Like, you think about, like, you change yourself, and then now you have to add another person into this that's also changing and trying to figure themselves out and what they're going to be doing with their life and their career and all that stuff.
And how's that going to affect your relationship, and how are you going to evolve together?
My God, it is draining.
A lot of people probably divorce because they don't evolve together.
It is draining.
One person probably remains stagnant while the other person grows.
Yes.
That can actually be so bad.
Yes. Yeah. That's another reason why I feel like a lot of millennial people these days are just moving in, trying to get a taste of the water before actually like signing their dotted.
Going through a more expensive divorce.
Yeah, signing their name on a dotted line.
It's easier to break up than it is to divorce. Because divorce is expensive and lengthy and legal and all this.
Yeah.
So it's easier if you move in, even though that has its own risks. If you move in without being married, it's easier to just pack your stuff and go.
Of course. So it's like, man.
People aren't even having joint accounts all the time nowadays.
Yo, it's crazy when I hear
feel like that's messy, personally. I think that gets difficult and...
It's tough.
I don't know.
I've heard that before, and people are like, oh, we split, like, these certain bills and all that stuff, and I'm like...
That gets so technical. It's, like, we have had our joint account for, like, ever since we moved in.
Since the beginning.
Okay? So, like, a little under 2 years we were together, and we got a joint account. Just because, like, it's easier, and all of our stuff funnels through there, and it just makes bills and life a lot easier. It doesn't make easier gift shopping, because we can technically see, like, because we use our debit card, so, like, it's like, you can see what you swipe if it's from a very specific store. Like, if it's from Sephora, and I just told you I wanted a palette, chances are I know what you got me, kind of thing. But besides that, everything is, like, streamlined, and it's just easier to kind of have a whole pot to drag, like, all your stuff from and budget and whatever. Plus, there's a trust element there. I mean, if you're gonna move in with a person, you're gonna share your entire life, and you're thinking about getting married, like, finances comes into that.
That's the hard stuff, the finances.
True.
Like,
You have a point, though. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are moving in for that reason as well as finances. Because nowadays it's easier to live with someone else rather than on your own.
Man. I'm trying to think of, like, a specific, like, topic that, like, we recently, like, went through that was just, like, I can't, like, think of anything on top of my head. Here's one related to finances where it's like, Valentine's Day just happened. So, of course, we get each other gifts or whatever. And it's like, we gotta stick to a certain budget, but it's hard to stick to that budget for Valentine's Day gifts when you want flowers on top of whatever other gift that I'm getting. Like, I think our budget's like $50 for each other just for Valentine's Day. And it's like, flowers, I just dropped like $30. And on the gift, I just put like, what was it?
47.
Oh, God, okay. You need to calculate more. And see that...
That was a communication thing. And this is a very good example.
Yeah.
That was a communication thing, because when I saw, we have $50 budgeted, we've gotten to the point in our relationship where, like, I don't always expect him to just, like, magically show up with something that I'm gonna love. Because in reality, it's like, it's kind of like with the engagement ring, okay? Like, I showed him, we went, like, a couple years ago, like, I showed him stuff I liked, styles, colors, all that, shapes and whatever, because at the end of the day, I'll be wearing this forever.
Yeah.
And it's still, like, you guys, if you heard the podcast last week, it was still a complete surprise, because I still wanted to be actually surprised when and how it happened. But it was nice that I got a ring that I genuinely love, that I am so, like, proud to wear and have. So, like, we've gotten to the point where with gifts, I mean, maybe sometimes he, like, if he finds something sentimental, like he got, like, this cute love story book and, like, different things that, like the blanket that has, like, the collages on it. Like, if he finds something really cute, he knows that I like that stuff, so that's cool.
Oh, man.
But then I like to give him an option, too. So what happened here was there's a Pandora charm I liked. And so it ended up being, like, $45 plus tax. In my head, I was like, okay, our budget's $50. That's perfect. It'll do. I was not thinking about flowers. I was, like, not in that mode for some reason. So, like, this comes down to, again, communicating and being like, okay, well, next time, do you want flowers along with your gift? If so, you're going to have to give me, like, a cheaper option so that we stay under that $50 mark. And it's like, this is one of those things, like, this isn't hard and this isn't a terrible topic, but, like, it's one of those things, like, every day in a relationship, you're just constantly maneuvering through things and working and, like, and thinking and changing how you act or, like, do something here or, like, talk or whatever. Like, you're just kind of switching it up,
like,
adapting.
Time is one. To touch on one thing, like, it's like, yo, so I work during the week and you're busy doing running your business, handling your stuff during the week, and it's just like the weekends come, and I'm like, I'm sure, like a lot of you guys, I just want to sit back and relax. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit home, kick it, whatever. And then we come into the issue of being like, hey, you want to watch a show on Netflix? And I'm like, not really. I just want to sit here, watch some YouTube videos, just take it easy. And then it becomes an issue because it's like, yeah, she wants time, and it's like, I want to spend time with you, but at this current moment, I kind of just want to chill by myself. And it's like, even that can become an issue, and it's like, you have to sit there and talk about it and, work it out. Like, man.
We've come to the point where we're not perfect. We're still actually we'll have arguments, but we've gotten better at trying to tackle something before it becomes a bigger issue. Because something that we had fallen into for a while was just everything became a blow up because everything added up and was never actually talked about or resolved or adapted or however you want to word it. So it is a vicious cycle and it's not a healthy or happy one. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten to a point where more often than not, we're talking things through before they escalate, which is huge. And it's something that you don't realize how hard that is until you are in it. You have to, because one, you have to be like, okay, is this worth it? Is this person in this relationship, is it worth putting all this energy and effort into? And then if it is, then you better be prepared to do that work. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be annoying. There's going to be tears shed. There's going to be all this different stuff. But the idea is that each time it's going to get easier, you're going to learn each other more. You're going to just know how the other person works and what kind of, works for you guys. Because that's the thing too. Yeah. Everyone romanticizes certain things about a relationship when every single relationship is different. And the thing is, again, this is kind of touching on what we touched on last week. Social media will be the death of you because that's all of people's highlights. But you don't see the actual work that goes into that happiness, that smile or that engagement or whatever. You don't see,
of course,
how much went into getting there. Yeah. Because you cannot tell me every single relationship, even happy, healthy ones, has not had bumps in the road or maybe some doubts or maybe some hiccups that you didn't see coming or arguments that were just so stupid or something. Everybody kind of goes through these bumps and, anthills and mountains to get to a smoother path together. No, but nobody wants that because that's not the fun part. That's not the happy part.
You go on Instagram, you see everyone, on Valentine's Day, on, I don't even know, National Boyfriend and Girlfriend Day, whatever days those I feel like are made up on. And you see these happy photos, and it's that's not always the case. And it can get you very depressed if you're going through something with your significant other. I get it. Mm-hmm. And it's just just know there's more to the story. Like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Because let's also not forget that, yeah, maybe the people smiling in that photo actually are that happy, and if they are, good for them. However, people smiling in that photo, you also don't know what they're going through, because they could either be going through a really rough patch at the time, or, God forbid, they could be going through domestic violence. You don't know, because people can hide things really well. So the thing is, be happy for people, but don't be envious, because you don't know what that situation is. Also, not for nothing, that situation might be not work for you. Because just like you and I have figured out what's a good system for us when it comes to spending time together, when it comes to cuddling, when it comes to, like, going out, when it comes to cooking, like, what's a good system for all this? Maybe you look at that happy couple on the screen, and their system is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So you may see, wow, they're happy, but maybe if you were with that person, it would be awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it was funny to me that this guy, like, I don't know too much about him. That's more of, like, your stuff. But he was, like, so, like, emotional about it. And he was like, no, like, he really wanted just the good parts. And I'm like, wow, like, you, like, really can't.
And I get it, because especially the kids coming up these days, like, that's what you see. You see these...
Oh, it gets worse.
These fake
every
stories
decade.
and everything. Like, you see these TV shows that are just, like, pushing you, like, this happy family and all. Like, it's just, like, it just messes with you, because you're expecting the person that you find attractive or that you like, you know, whatever about them, you're expecting this person to be perfect. And it's just like, that's not the case. We're not perfect. We all have our own issues. We're all trying to work through our own things. And it's just like, relationships are a lot of hard work. In the end, if you find someone that's worth sticking it through, you know, as much of a headache it could be, you just got to work through it.
The other thing is, too, that, you know, there's different phases to a relationship, and I think sometimes when we're younger, we get caught up if this person was so perfect in the beginning. There's, like, different phases that you can kind of easily drop off if you don't want to put in the work. So the first is, like, right after that first few months, the honeymoon phase, when everything's perfect and you guys are going to get married and live happily ever after, and you just know that this is the one kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then things start happening, little fights here and there that sooner or later kind of become a little bit bigger fights, or that you're like, maybe I don't really like that part of that person, or maybe, like, there's kind of, you're learning new stuff, okay? So that's, like, one area that it's easy, okay, well, I'm done. Then there's, like, for us, for a lot of people, when you move in together, which to me it's funny, because at least we kind of did that before getting married, and I think that's another benefit, because I think it stinks if people get married and now they're in this married honeymoon phase and you just moved in together and you never lived with this person.
Oh, man.
Or if you never lived with anyone else, period.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like you're going to get even more of a shock, because now you're like, oh crap, I'm married and I'm stuck now. Because for us, it was a lot. We both moved in from our parents' houses. We had never lived with anyone else. So there's that. We were also young, and we, like, never lived on our own and with a significant other, anything. So there's that. And then we also coming with both our baggages from living in those situations. And now we have to create our own living situation. All of this stuff kind of hit. We had, like, a great first month in the home, and then everything started to kind of go crazy. And a lot of that was me. A lot of it was stuff I had to work through, which took a long time to work through. And that's, like he was saying, that you have to work through yourself, like, your stuff on your own, as well as in a relationship. Because I'm over here trying to, you know, fix my baggage and things that were going on in me. But I also had to make an effort to then make sure that is also reflecting the relationship. And then he has to do the same and, like, you know, come in the middle, meet me somewhere. And it's like, that alone, you know, everyone was calling it growing pains. That's all everyone would say when we moved in together. It's growing pains. And I'm like, sure, I guess, but it's just, hard. I feel like when someone says growing pains, that I feel like growing pains doesn't sound that bad. To me, it felt really bad. Like, I felt like we were going through some really tough stuff. And we did. So there was that kind of phase. Then there was the phase of, okay, you're in a relationship long enough and you're like, well, we gonna bite the bullet or not? So, like, then there's the whole, what's gonna happen next? Like, are we kind of going towards more of a future? Like, are we stagnant? So there's, like, it's very interesting how there's different phases that, one, you're gonna go through yourself and as a couple, and that it's gonna test you in, is this person worth it? Is your relationship worth it? Are you actually happy here, and do you actually want this?
Yep.
Because that's the thing too. Let me not do the actually happy part. Because they're not kidding when they say you are not going to be happy the whole time.
Yep.
There's going to be droughts. There's going to be storms. There's going to be times when you don't want to look at each other. But that's where I go more to, is it worth it? Is this what you want in the long run? Is it like, oh, man, and we're only 25. Like, and I feel like we've been through it, even though we're young in a lot of people's eyes, and our relationship is young in a lot of people's eyes. I feel like we've been through it to kind of, I don't know, have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, you sum that all up. Like, at the end of the day, it takes work. To answer that simple question, are relationships hard work? Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of hard work. But if you find someone that's worth it.
And willing to work with you.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, too. Relationships will not work if it's just one person. If it is only one person working the whole time, get out.
Yeah.
Because you literally never make that work.
Yeah. Man, okay.
That was heavy.
On to the last heavy topic. We just had to like talk about that.
Get off the chest.
Pretty much. Now, we're gonna get into something that's a little bit silly here. So I found this like post, and I thought it was funny. So this is from a guy that says his marriage is ending because of TV shows.
Okay.
So he says, my wife and I cannot come to an agreement about this issue, and it's pretty much looking to end our marriage at this point. She does not want me to watch TV shows that have naked women in them. I'm telling her it makes me feel like a child. I pretty much have to ask for permission to watch a TV show. She saying it's normally to have boundaries in relationships, but I feel it's controlling and it makes me feel like crap. I know it's not the end of the world to not watch TV shows, but it's something I enjoy and I don't want to watch them because there's naked women in them. I want to know your take on this one.
Okay.
And
so
as you give me your take, I'm gonna fill you in more and more about this because I'm so freaking curious about this.
It keeps going.
Oh yes.
Oh God. Okay. That is like acting like the whole parent-child kind of dynamic. Who has not seen, any kind of nudity or sex scenes or violence or whatever in a show or movie?
Any show these days has something. You're gonna see a nipple, a butt, something.
Right. It's not like he's having this weird emotional connection. I mean, if he is, then that's a whole other problem you gotta deal with. But it doesn't sound like it.
To add more to this, so they're both 30 years old, and they've been married for a year and a half.
Okay.
So, and also, I guess she's been on his phone. They don't leave the house, or he doesn't leave the house very often, and when he does, it's usually with her. And they share a position on Google Maps, so I'm pretty sure it's similar to like Apple, where you can share like your location.
Oh,
so that's
like
what I'm
find my
understanding.
friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just interesting. So like this guy can't watch Game of Thrones. We watch Power. That has it.
Right.
So many shows. Like what show doesn't have anything these days?
So I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that porn is a no-go in that household.
Oh my God.
Because hello, we're worried about a nipple on television?
Yes, porn is horrible.
Let me guess, it's the devil's work and it's the worst thing in the world.
I mean, I don't know about that part. But this, man, I just thought it was interesting because it's not, normally you hear about, like, the man taking, like, the position on the woman where it's like, hey, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, this story was just interesting.
Female dominance is a real thing, though.
It is. Also, to add to this, he says, like I mentioned, he doesn't have much of a social life. But this almost definitely been a problem when he has female friends. She has asked if my boss is hot in the past. She has gone through my Facebook friends and asked about the females I have there. I don't really use Facebook, so I only have a couple cousins as friends, but she would probably want me to unfriend any female if I weren't related to them.
Okay, sweetie.
What do you think about that?
She needs therapy, is what I think about that. She has some serious baggage or something. Something is happening there. Like, either, I don't know, did she have, like, an abusive father or something? Did she have, like, no father? Like, something. I feel like something's happening from her past. There's a bigger issue there. That is such an insecurity.
Exactly. There's some insecurity.
That is a personal insecurity that you are reflecting on this person.
It's like, oh, if you see a naked woman, you're not...
Was she cheated on? That's a good question.
Again, it's stuff I don't know.
I know, but I'm saying, like, that's, I think, the bigger issue here is she probably went through something in her past where this is triggering, and she needs to learn to get past that, because it is not good.
To answer your question about the porn, so this guy says, it has always been like this. She's been very clear that if I ever watch porn, it's over. So that would definitely end our marriage. She can talk about it, but it usually ends up with her telling me TV shows are so important to me, I'm willing to end our marriage over it.
She says that?
Yeah, she's willing to, like, I guess, like...
TV shows are important to her?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, yeah. So she's telling him that TV shows are so important to him that he's willing to end the marriage. Like, it's like the whole putting down. Her. Exactly. That's what she's saying to him. That whole manipulating thing. It's like, I'm like, this guy, what? See, this is the issue. This is why we move in with the girl before we even get married. Like, you have an issue with me watching shows? What? Like, what? I'm trying to think of what show these days that's an adult show doesn't have nudity in it.
And speaking from some sort of experience... It's totally not having to do with this. It's completely different, but sure. it kind of ties in. You can't give an ultimatum like that, and you can't take something like that. It doesn't end well. I'm like, how do I generally say this? If I was the guy, I would leave. This is a big insecurity on her part, because also I will say, if you have to go through his phone, also based on experience, your relationship is not a good
not
place.
My phone, just to...
No, not his! Oh, God!
Like, we haven't had that
no,
issue.
That is not a thing with us. You can go through mine, I can go through yours, it's not an issue. But,
and it's like...
That doesn't... If you have to do that... One, it's your own insecurity, but it's also mixed with your relationship's not in a good place. So you either have to work on this or leave.
And he's brought up seeing a therapist to her, and she's unwilling to do that.
Of course she is. Of course she is. Because she probably thinks her behavior is perfectly fine.
Pretty much. And
she's justifying it.
She told him it's something she'll never be okay with him seeing.
But why? If I was, like, and I'm sure he's been like, but why?
Yeah.
Because, and I can understand the porn thing. I don't want to judge if other people...
I'm trying to wink at you. No, you better not judge me.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to say, like, if other people are really against porn and in a relationship and they've come to a mutual understanding that they're against porn, I don't want to judge. Like, fine. You can be against it. I'm not going to say that's the worst thing in the world. But, like, this kind of went from, like...
0 to 100?
Yes!
You know what's crazy? Because this guy also says, like, even normal TV shows, so, like a sitcom, he mentions, like, Parks and Rec. I guess she could see him staring at a girl's bikini for too long, and she didn't like that, so she got mad at him because of it. Like, what? What? You pretty much can't watch anything. You're restricted to watching Teletubbies.
So maybe she's insecure about how she looks, too? There's something going on
That's what I'm thinking. It has to be related to what she
it's
looks
being cheated on. It's something has happened where she's so severely insecure. And that's something she totally could work through. She just has to make the effort. Hey, this ties back in. It's
hard work.
Right. This is actually a really good segue. The thing is, in a relationship too, one person may have to be doing more of the work at some time. Like, it's not always 50-50, that whole 50-50 bull. It's not. You know, it's just like if, say your spouse is horrifically ill with the flu or something, and you may have to do more of the work with the kids or around the house or something. Like, there's that. And it's also, you may have to work individually on yourself more during a certain time.
I really want to know what's happening. Because as I'm, like, reading this, like, he pretty much covers, to cover the basis for anyone that cares. She is religious. But she hasn't, like, expressed anything as to, like, why she doesn't want him watching these shows. Also, he's trying to talk about this to her on a bunch of, like pretty much asking her why, and all he gets out of it is saying that, she's like, I want to be the only woman her man looks at like that. And it's just like,
which is all well and good, but let's be honest. We all have seen someone on the street that we're like, hey, they're good looking.
But you're not going to do anything, right?
Exactly. No, but that's the reality of it. Is you're not automatically a cheater or something because you saw someone and you were like, hey, they were kind of attractive. You are human at the end of the day. That's the whole argument people can make if you don't want to be monogamous or whatever, too, is like, at the end of the day, you're human. You're going to have urges. You're going to have feelings and like certain people. Like, it's the whole idea that maybe there isn't just one person forever for you.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, I mean, hey, people go and get married 20 years later to someone else and that's their forever now.
Of course.
Like, I don't find anything wrong if you were to, like, we were walking together on the street or something and you saw someone and you thought to yourself, hey, that girl's cute.
I'm just going to say it's happened.
Okay, well, same.
Obviously, I'm not going to get offended. Just don't tell me about it because I'm going to be like, well, don't.
Well, no, that's weird. I mean, hey, and again, some people have a relationship where they joke about that. So, hey,
yeah, where they call out a guy or girl and be like, yo, they look attractive.
Whatever.
Like, I don't really want that. Yeah, I get it.
The whole, you can't look at anybody.
That's wild. It's like, you can't go out
do I have to be blind? Like,
she would probably like
that. Can I live?
She would probably like if he was blind.
Here's my ultimate question. Is she allowed to watch men be naked? You know, when we see men's bare bottoms in these shows?
That's a good question.
Or abs?
That's a good question.
Because if she is, that's a bigger issue in the relationship because now...
You did not cover that, but that's good.
Exactly, because that's like, we've had these discussions where it's like, well, if you expect me to do something, then we're going to do this in reverse too.
Yeah, we're doing it equally.
Like...
Yeah.
Come on.
He didn't say it, so maybe because he doesn't watch the shows, she just doesn't watch them. I don't know what you're watching if that's the case. I'm trying to think of what shows can you watch that don't have like even the slightest bit of like nudity.
Cartoons?
Pretty much. Because I'm like, what? Do you see like a girl that has like an open cut shirt and you're like, yo, no,
low cut, yeah.
You can't see that cleavage right there.
Too much arms. She works out too much.
Too much leg. Like,
she's too muscular.
I'm like, this is wild. I just thought that was crazy. I just had to share that with you because I'm just like, what?
I don't get it.
I saw in this post I was reading, and a lot of people were giving him tips. I think one of the guys, he went through like a similar thing with it, and he was like giving her tips and all that stuff, and like the guy was like, "Oh, like after you guys went through that, did were you able to watch shows you wanted to and all that stuff?" And I was, at the end of the day, I feel so sad for this person. Something as normal as watching TV shows, not thinking anything of it because
right.
What?
You just want to see the show. You're not looking for the hot girls or whatever.
Oh, man.
Even if you were, what are you going to do with them?
I mean...
It's not like you're going to cheat on her.
Not like you're going to find them. And if you do, not like they're going to be interested in you. Like, I just found that was crazy. At the end of the day, I hope this guy somehow gets his wife to therapy. They change, because...
I hope she's open to growing.
Pretty much. Because that is wild. To get it,
because at the end of the day, too, she's making it harder for herself. She's kind of put herself in a little cell.
Yeah.
Because she's not willing to go through some hard stuff with herself to get to the other side.
Of course.
Because nobody wants to go digging through trauma and the past and the hard stuff.
Yep.
But we all, at the end of the day, everyone has something that we gotta go through to get to the other side.
Of course.
You gotta be willing to go through the journey.
I just wish the guy the best, because that's just so sad and like pitiful. And it's just like, damn, I'm like, can I just invite you over and you can watch shows and I'll just go somewhere else?
Is he allowed to hang out with his friends?
I mean, he said he doesn't go out often, so I doubt it.
Oh my god. See?
I mean,
that is no
his wife would probably be like, is his wife over there, or is his like girlfriend there? Like what? Like what? That's so wild.
See, this is one thing too. I don't in any way justify cheating. I do not think it is okay or a good thing to do to another person. However, and we've talked about this before, you can't always just blame the person who cheats. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times cheating is something a lot deeper in the relationship going on. Where I'm going with this is...
He's gonna Netflix cheat on her.
Okay, we'll go with that. I mean, sure, maybe. But at the end of the day, because people like him, he might want a better emotional connection with someone who can just hang out and watch a movie with him. Like, it may not even be a sex thing at that point. Like, you have to, again, this goes into the relationship hard work. You gotta be there for your person.
Yeah.
You gotta be there for you, and you gotta bring your best. And if this goes on too long, I fear that either it's just going to end in him cheating or divorcing her. Because...
Pretty much.
If something that simple... Like, how do you imagine having kids then?
Oh my god. Daddy, how come you can't watch a show with me? Because your mom doesn't want me to.
Right? If SpongeBob took off his trunks or something?
I mean, no, it's fine. That's a guy. If Sandy cheats,
sorry, yeah.
No problem.
And she has.
Oh my god.
She has.
I don't want you looking at that squirrel. I do not want you looking at that squirrel.
For real though.
I just feel bad for it. I just thought that was wild.
And then she's gonna teach that stuff to her kid though.
Kids.
This is where having kids presents a bigger issue.
Get real serious on this,
because now, whatever gender, either if it's a son and you're trying to be like, you're not a good man if you look at other girls that way, or if it's a daughter and you tell the daughter, you make sure your man is not looking at anybody but you.
That is so toxic.
Mm-hmm.
That is so toxic.
And the cycle repeats itself. This is the issue people do not think of when they have kids, is repeating the cycle.
Yeah. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's when it becomes like a real big issue. When you start trying to push it on kids.
Well, exactly. They're married, they're 30, maybe that's coming soon. Yeah. So it's like, something needs to change there.
Wish you all the best, buddy. I don't know your name. If you are hearing this, I want to know. Update me on the story. I'm so curious.
Email me personally.
Now, the last thing I want to touch on is this Dog Park Debbie. We got another one of people.
Dog Park Debbie Downer.
We got another one of these white people, no offense, babe. They calling the cops on just the freaking stupidest situations. So if you guys don't know, so this guy was at a dog park, which we go every now and then to bring our dog, let her run around, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And this guy had his dog, and you know he's black because his dog's name is Duce. For everyone that doesn't know, Jay-Z has a what is it? I think it's has a alcohol called Duce. So he named his dog after that. And so pretty much what happened is this guy was at the dog park, and you know, when you're at dog parks, we've been to dog parks before where one of the dogs, they get frisky and they want to get behind your dog and try to hump them. And it's like, you just kind of...
Remember that one with Missy? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That one that would not stop?
You just be a bit, like, hesitant, and you kind of be like, all right, little buddy, like, little guy, you scoot on if you don't want you doing that. And
she was like, I don't know what to do! Help!
And, like, and normally, the dog owner understands. Like, they get it.
If you rip them apart.
Like, they get it. But, like, this lady, she went 0 to 100. I'm like, what? So, this lady brings her dog into the secluded area of the dog park, and all the dogs get excited, so they run up to the dog. And his dog happens to get ready to hump her dog. And he runs over to the dog, grabs her dog off her dog, and, you know, you're going to say sorry about that. And this lady, like, immediately gets offended. Google it, you can pull up the video. This guy has it on Facebook. I was watching this. She immediately gets offended. She's like, oh, you're not following the rules of the dog park. I'm like, what? What? I didn't know no humping was a rule at the dog park. Like, what? What?
But it gets worse.
So, they go back and forth.
Just wait.
They go back and forth, and this other lady, she, like, is also, like, helping this lady, and it's like, why? Why? Like, this is what dogs do. You bring a dog around another dog, that's just what they do. They don't know any better. So, this lady goes and calls the cop, and it's like, when you're black, and you have the cops called on you, whether you're in the wrong or right situation, you just pray that nothing, like, gets worse than what's already happening. And
sad reality.
From what I can see in this video is the cop, he didn't even know how to handle this.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't blame him. It was stupid.
He was just like...
I'd be like, why are you wasting my time?
I felt like he was just, like, thrown off guard with it. And so, man, I don't understand this. What's up? Speak on this. What's up with this?
Woof.
What's up with all these white people calling the cops on people for, like, what was that 911 call?
We're talking about dogs.
Relax. What was this? What's up with this, like, calling 911? What are you going to do calling the cops? Say, hey, my dog is being humped by a black man's dog.
This was the stupidest thing.
And it's like, she didn't have a problem. I swear.
I don't care. I don't care what color you are.
What?
Why would you ever call the cops on something like this?
Well, if the dog was associated to a white person, guy or girl, I'm pretty sure it'd be no problem.
But I don't get it, because it's like, why is it ever a problem? Okay, here's the thing. Okay. And I'm sure all you dog owners can agree.
Oh, man.
Dogs are dogs. They just are, okay? They act differently than us. They learn and socialize differently than us.
Yep.
Just like, yes, when a dog comes in, they all come over and they sniff, because sniffing is how they learn, okay? So, but people don't sniff each other like that to, like, say hi.
Yeah.
But, okay, so one dog got really excited and did the thing. And sure, I could get it. Okay, especially us having a female dog, we had gotten our dog spayed, like, as soon as we could. Because, one, I didn't want to deal with the little periods. But, two, at the end of the day, if someone humps her, that's then on us if she were pregnant. Because now we have the girl dog, we have to take care of her, pregnant, and babies, and all that.
Weird dogs have
everything that comes with it. So, especially for the girl, I think it's important that you get them spayed if you really just don't want puppies and anything like that. But, yeah, so there was the story, like, last year at the dog park, so there's two different sides to the dog parks we go to. I don't know. Did this dog park have, like, all sizes in one, or was it separated?
They probably had it separated.
Okay, so, she's a small dog, so we stay on the small dog side. Then there's the big dog side, okay? When you're on the small dog side, where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to talk
it.
about Dog Park Debbie. Are you Dog Park Debbie right now? trying to tell me about a situation where you were just freaking...
Speak of the devil, our dog is scratching at the door and it's
No, you
hilarious.
cannot come in, dog. We're not
She's like, you talking
you.
about me? Talking about me? I think where I was going with this. When we look at the big dog side,
Yep.
a lot of times they are more ferocious and vicious and attack each other, and it's like this whole rah, 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 like it's crazy. So the owners automatically like yank them off and stuff, and like they kind of understand that, hey, these big dogs, they may be harder to handle, but hey, they're gonna kind of get annoyed at each other every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get mad, and that's big dogs that can actually hurt people or dogs.
Okay.
So when it comes to the little ones, here's where I was going. Last year when we brought her to the dog park, there was this one little dog that kept persisting.
Like, I like you.
He just wanted to get it in with Missy. And I was not about this. I was like,
You look like a snack.
No, not my baby. So I kept like separating them, and I kept kind of like staying by Missy to make sure he wasn't going to initiate again. Mm-hmm. But like, no one got offended by that, because at the end of the day, I can see. Your dog does not have the right to hump my dog because, yes, that makes me uncomfortable or whatever, or I don't want her to get pregnant or whatever the case may be. However...
That's just what dogs do.
You're going to then, as a responsible dog parent, be a responsible dog parent to yours.
Yep.
So what that meant for me was I was guarding Missy. I was not going after this other dog and being mad, and I was absolutely not calling the cops on this dog, because, like...
Come arrest this dog.
Really?
Bring him to doggy jail.
Because really?
Bring him... No, that's a serious offense. What were we supposed to owners?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Whatever race they were. No, it'd be a problem. It's on, like, donkey going.
Yeah, so I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Dogs hump, dogs sniff, dogs lick, dogs poop, all that good stuff. They sniff each other's poop. They do whatever. Like, they are gross. Dogs can be really gross. But, like, it's not harming anybody.
The point of this is stop calling the cops on black people. What's wrong with you guys?
That too. We can, like, these people can't have, lunch in the parks, and they can't be at dog parks with their dog.
Can't be selling water on the side, trying to make some extra money. Oh, man. But if a white kid was doing any other things, it would be fine.
We're going to continue with this next week. We got to talk about that video.
What video?
The one I talked to you earlier about that I sent you yesterday.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So speaking of this, we're going to continue on to the race issue next week.
Oh, man. Well, we'll talk more about that one.
Yeah.
Alright. I think right now we hit a good amount of things this episode. Talk about Jordyn Sparks.
Jordyn Woods. Jordyn Sparks is the one that sang on American Idol.
I feel like
she's happily married with a baby now.
I feel like
Jason Derulo.
I feel like I probably said Jordyn Sparks at some point.
I don't think you did.
Oh,
I think you just said it now.
Clap it up for me. No, you're not clapping.
We don't need no Jason Derulo around here.
We talked about why a relationship is hard work. We also talked about the whole topic with the whole wife and husband and all that issues. We covered a lot. I covered a lot. It was real good. So we're going to close this one out, guys. Like I said, we did also upload the video version of this podcast, which you can check up on YouTube on PagingTheSimpsons there. Just trying this out on the video form. Send in your questions. I'm super curious to know what everyone thinks. I'm super hyped. I'm super hyped for these episodes. As always, see you guys in the next episode. We're probably going to have a bonus episode coming this Friday. And, yeah, that's it.
Missy says hi.
She doesn't make any noises other than, sniff the mic.
Missy, sniff the mic. Yeah, boot the mic.
Oh my god. Alright, so I catch you guys.
But don't hump the mic.
On the next episode of Paging the Simpsons. I am Shadell.
And I am Lauren.
And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
Say bye, Missy.